All right, I'm gonna be truthful with you guys, okay? All of us don't have the same purpose. We don't all have the same things. Every man's purpose is not to sleep with 50 women, to dunk a basketball, to be a rapper, things like that, to be a boxer, an NFL player, basketball player, whatever you want to call it. To be a celebrity. That is not everybody's calling. And it's sad because you'll see like a long time ago, people used to actually pursue things that they were passionate about. The older generations. Let's just say somebody born 1920 or 1930. They would take a liking to math, so they would become an accountant. They like birds, they become zoologists. They like animals, they would do that. This is before capitalism, when everything became money, everybody's trying to be a millionaire. And you need to make at least $50,000 a year to live an okay lifestyle. Before that time, people used to actually pursue their passions. If they loved plants, they would become a gardener or botanist. If women wanted to be teachers or nurses, they would become teachers or nurses. Versus now, people just say, oh, well, everybody else is being a teacher, or I don't want to do anything. I don't want to work with my hands, so now I'm going to be a teacher. Or, oh, nurses I can make $100,000 if I become a registered nurse and do this and that. People are chasing goals and dreams just for money now. And that's why you have a lot of people who most people are not happy because they hate their jobs. And that's why a lot of marriages don't last anyways. People hate their jobs. They do it for the money. And then I was on a date with somebody, and basically the reason why we didn't have a second date is because, they made a lot of money. They made like $65K, which is a good amount of money. Not a ton of it, but that's a good amount. They made more money than I did. And that's why we didn't go on a second date. But a long time ago, people didn't necessarily care about money the same way. It wasn't seen as water or air. It wasn't just a necessity for you to make all this money. But versus now, if you're making under, like, let's say $40,000 a year, it's like, man, really? If you're over, let's just say if you're over 25, or if you're not a young guy, if you're making under 40K a year, it's like, what are you doing, man? And it's sad that we live in a society where people aren't chasing their passions. Everybody isn't in love with playing basketball. I play it for fun, but I would not want to play NBA if the NBA told me, hey, we'll sign you to a contract and you can make $400,000 a year. I wouldn't want to do it, for $400,000 or $500,000 a year, because they have to play 81 games. They never get to do anything they want to do. All they can do is play basketball and make commercials and stuff like that. That's just not who I am. But I do love playing basketball, the court. But hey, I might not play basketball for 2 months and then just all of a sudden start hooping, when I want to. But it's good because it's when I feel like it, And I think that's what people have to understand. Everybody's not made to play football. You get what I'm saying? Some guys in the NFL only play football because their dad forced them to play, and these guys are getting paid millions of dollars, and after 8 years or whatever, and they made enough money, they just quit. Not because they were hurt or not because they were not good anymore. It's just they didn't want to play football anymore. They did not like playing football, And that's what people have to understand, is that if we live in a society where just because you love doing something doesn't mean that you're good at it. In our society, if you're not good at something, you shouldn't do it. Versus I think that if you're not good at something, you should try to get better at it. Versus our society is more looking at people's natural ability to do something versus your passions. And, we're all chasing this American dream. We're trying to find out what we're good at naturally, so we can exploit that to get as much money as we can, versus finding out what we love and becoming good at it. If a kid loves playing an instrument and they're not gifted at 12 years old or 14 or whatever, people will tell them, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you become a dancer or a singer? You're not good at this. Versus instead of nurturing them and working with them, and if they keep at it, by the time they get 30, they may become excellent. They may be able to make 6 figures a year playing that instrument, the flute, the oboe, the violin. But we don't live in that society of patience. We don't have patience. Everything is now. We always trying to put timelines, spreadsheets, data entry. We're just crunching numbers, worrying about profit margins. That's all we do in this society. And I think that we should stop worrying about profit so much and worry about enjoyment, worry about happiness, because at the end of the day, we're all going to die one day. We're not going to live forever. So, F a profit margin for once. You know what I'm saying? F capital. F revenues and incomes and all that, and tax bases and all that stuff. I'm a manager. Worry about, do something that you like. Even if you do a job that's okay, like I have an okay job, I enjoy making films. I would enjoy doing comedy, doing something where I could express myself, doing poetry maybe. No, I'm not gonna make $100,000 a year doing it. I don't care about that, but it's just therapeutic for me to be around people who enjoy things that I also enjoy.